Alright. Path of Exile, a game with infinite possibilities. And by infinite, I mean limited possibilities. But within that limited infinite possibility, there is a build that exists in this game that I have not created, that nobody has created yet. And it is a split damage build between Bleed, Poison, and Ignite. Path of Exile hates when you try to double dip damage, when you try to do Bleed and Poison. It just doesn't work, because the way this game works, it works off more multipliers and scaling. And you want that more multiplier and that scaling to apply to one damage type, either Bleed and or Poison. My dream has always been to try to make meaningful damage in all three of those elements. So, this build applies Poison, Bleed, Ignite, Chill, and Shock. It does it through some interesting boots. Beacon of Madness, which gives you Embrace Madness, which gives you Conflux. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, Conflux of Shock, Cold, and Ignite. But while you have this up, you're getting these debuffs right here. This Paralyzing Touch, Eroding Touch, Wasting Touch, Diluting Touch, Bad Touch, essentially Bad Touch. You're getting Bad Touch. This is a Bloodhound Gang, Monkey, Bad Touch build. Now, I picked up this dagger, not so much for the all damage from hits with this weapon can poison. I picked it up because it has a pretty big disparity between the minimum and the maximum attack damage. And I was only really looking for that maximum attack damage, which is almost 300, which for a dagger is kind of high. But most importantly, this was 10C. So I got this 10C dagger here. And I am rocking a Reeve build with Multi-Strike, Volatility, Awaken Melee, Awaken Unbound Ailment Support, Nightblade, and Reeve, using Beacon of Madness. So we have these Beacon of Madness. I think Paralyzing Touch is the one that slows you down. As you see, I am not slow. And the reason I am not slow is my favorite Ascendancy. I don't know what you really call these. Ascendancy Point, Ascendancy Passive Point, Ascendancy Notable. I'm just going to call it an Ascendancy point. My favorite Ascendancy node is from the Trickster. One step ahead. This makes it so your action speed cannot be modified. So when you have these debuffs, you basically become immobile and basically unable to operate the build properly. But if you pull on this Trickster notable, you can operate properly. And you're asking, well, why don't you just play a Trickster? Well, I feel the Assassin's Poison nodes, which pump up your critical strike chance, is going to synergize extremely well with Dance with Death. And I like the Assassin kit a little better than the Trickster kit. The Trickster kit is lacking because of one node on the Trickster that I hate with such vehement passion, and that is this. Escape Artist. It just pigeonholes your build so extremely, because your only way to get benefit on this is if you have Energy Shield on your helmet. I'm not using a helmet. And Evasion on your body armor, which I do have with the body armor I'm using, but if I wanted to use something else, it won't allow you. So basically, it's forcing you to use an Energy Shield helmet and Evasion body armor. And I don't want to be forced in a box. I don't want to be forced to use anything. I'm a madman. I'm volatile. I am a volatile not support, because I don't support anything. I hate everything. So this Escape Artist is a dog shit node, and it's ruining it because the Soul Drinker is a great node. We can ignore this one. The Soul Drinker is a great node, and a lot of people want to get to this Soul Drinker, but to get to this Soul Drinker, you have to pass through this shitty Escape Artist. Now, if you synergize around Escape Artist, it is a solid defensive node. If you're already going to be using an ES helmet, and you're already going to be using an evasion chest, this is a solid node. So I'm not going to give it like a D tier. It's probably like a solid C, simply because it's defensive. But these nodes are actually pretty good in between there. You get movement speed, which is always excellent, energy shield, which is fantastic, and evasion. So these are actually really good nodes between here. So it kind of helps the fact that this is such dog shit. And this node, I mean, GGG, what the hell? Why you keep doing this? Why you keep developing games this way? No one wants this situational dog shit. Now, it's a great node, but no one wants this situational dog shit. Anyways, So because of this situational dog shit and this bad boy, and the fact that you get +2 to frenzy charges, but no way to gain frenzy charges, it should be like 1% chance to gain frenzy charge on hit, or something silly like that. So you can sustain your frenzy charges. Anyways, this is good all on its own because of the 200% increased charge duration. But let's go back to my ass in. My ass in. This node is very good, very good. Increases damage when you need it, increases defenses when you need it. This right here works extremely well with Nightblade, which I'm using. This one's kind of useless, and then this one's less useless. I guess this one's not that useless, but the problem with the assassin in the way that I built it is it pumps up my poison damage too high, so it's not that well of split damage. So if we take a look, poison DPS 459, bleed DPS 141, ignite DPS 100. So the poison damage is 3x my bleed, 4x my ignite, and my ignite and my bleed put together is almost half of the poison. And the ideal situation in my mind for this kind of a build is to try to even out the bleed, ignite, and poison damage. Now obviously this is not a good build because I should just go full poison, and if I went full poison it would be a better build. If I just ignored the bleed, if I ignored the ignite, but that's not what I want. I want a poison, bleed, ignite build. That is the goal. That is the objective of this build. And I feel that I have made the best attempt at making this a reality that anyone has ever taken. Now let's go through some notable points on here. One, getting quite a bit of crit here. I'm getting this for the life leech. It's kind of a wasted node because I have to go through this little ant node. But once I get some tattoos, I'll tattoo right out of that ant node. And I guess I do need the stats a little bit. I'm throwing some avoid poison on there just so, you know, I don't get poisoned. Here's some advanced tech. Enemies poisoned by you cannot deal critical strikes, and I'm also using Dance with Death. Enemies damage with critical strikes against you is lucky. So these two offshoot each other, assuming you can get a poison off before they one-shot you with a lucky crit. But you poison them, they can no longer crit you. That's a pretty good little advanced tech with this, not really tech, but some great synergies. Now, let's crunch some numbers. I built me a little Excel sheet here that I am calling Batty Daddy Volatility Milk Juice Value. And I'm calling it that because I'm retarded. Now, what I did here is I took the minimum attack value and the maximum attack value of my Reeve skill. And I put a random number selection value in Excel where you can just do random between, and I set it on these two values. And then I did a lucky hit random, which it takes 2 hits, 2 random selections between the two, and it selects as the max value out of the two of them. And I lined up 10 hits, and I did Daddy's stats on the right, which says the percentage difference between the 2 hits, the regular hit and the lucky hit. And then I, well, I didn't want you to see that white screen. We can't know that Excel exists below it. We only got this patent pending, disgusting Pepto-Bismol pink, which is my signature color, Pepto-Bismol pink. It's a lot like looking at my face. You want to throw up in revolt because of the volatility of my appearance. Now, we got this sum, average, standard deviation, and max value. One thing that was surprising to me after checking out these statistics is that max value with 10 hits. So, max value hits are great for a single bleed and a single ignite. If you're using Crimson Dance, where you can get 8 bleeds, this max value becomes less useful. So if we hit Alt F9, it's going to refresh some of these values. So let's just take a couple refreshes on this hit. Look at this bad boy. The lucky hit increases this individual hit by 1,162%. That's lucky hit for ya. So let's hit a couple more. And this is fun. This is fun little daddy stats that we got going on here. Let's do one more. I want to try to get something interesting. All right, this is pretty interesting because we have a massive improvement here and a minor decrease in damage from those lucky hits. And this max value actually has a 25% increase, which is really good. So let's say you hit these 10 times for Ignite and Bleed, because right now I'm not using Crimson Dance, it's going to apply that 21,000 hit versus that 17,000 hit for a 25% increase in damage, which is odd, statistically improbable that the max value is going to be that much higher than the sum and the average. Now, if we run it again, you'll see that max value drop. This is much more stereotypical. Only a 7% difference in this max value. Now, this max value, if you're not using Crimson Dance, is kind of pointless, right? Adding the lucky hit is not going to improve a Bleed or Ignite build that only hits one time. If you get the thing where you can apply 2 Ignites, it's going to help out a little bit. And if you have Crimson Dance, it's going to help out a lot. So let's pretend we have Crimson Dance here. And it's going to take the 8 best hits and apply the bleeds for those 8 best hits. Quickest way to do that is remove the 2 lowest values. On the left, we're removing this 935 and this 1500. On the right, we're removing this 5000 and this 6000, leaving only big boy numbers on the right, and you still have a lot of these small boy numbers. You're removing this one and this one, so you got that small boy, you got that small boy. So if you're using Crimson Dance, the lucky hit is extremely important, which is why when you're playing a gladiator and you have lucky hit when you block an attack, it's almost always better to use Crimson Dance. Now, I like bleeds without Crimson Dance. I like the idea of a big fat bleed stack and then making the enemies run and chase you and then bleeding to death as they chase you. And also it works well with the Ignite. So I'm not using Crimson Dance. So this lucky hit for my bleeds and my Ignites and my poisons is actually completely pointless for the ailment. Completely pointless for the bleeds and the Ignites, which is, I kind of knew that was going to happen, but seeing it in action like this, you're only getting just minor improvements in that map. Well, you got a 32% there, but for the most part, you're seeing very minor improvements on a 10 hit stack. You know, got a few 20s, a few big hits. Every now and then you're going to get statistical anomalies. But for the most part, lucky hit is not that valuable for an individual bleed and an individual ignite. It's not valuable that much at all for poisons in terms of the damage difference. And on this set here, it is actually hit better with the regular hits than the lucky hits by 1%. That's a statistical anomaly. Let's run it again. 4%, 50%, 107%, 22%. It's very volatile. Probably why they named the support Volatility support. Very apt name. Now, this is really cool and illuminating, and I enjoyed building this. It was, you know, like a 10-minute Batty Daddy Volatility Milk Juice value spreadsheet that I built here. And it's illuminating on a lot of fronts. The most illuminating is this max value being as small as it is. The next illuminating value is the standard deviation. That standard deviation reduction is actually really strong. I mean, you can obviously just see it in the sum and the average, but the standard deviation is where you actually see the lucky hit become valuable, because you're removing the extreme bottom end outliers from these lucky hits. Like this bad boy here, this is going to be a game changer if you only swing one time and your one hit got lucky and increased your damage by 1,105%. That is a extremely lucky hit. What else do we want to talk about in this section? I think I covered most of it. I'm sure you all know what standard deviation, average, and max. I'm sure you understand what all this means. That is all we need to cover for the Batty Daddy Volatility Milk Juice Value Excel spreadsheet. Yes, I don't activate my Excel sheets. I almost always had a work computer that had Excel on it, so why would I buy it and pay for it and put it on my thing when I can just run it unactivated, completely free, with no downside, aside from this little red thing that's telling me to activate product. Alright, let's go back to the build. Let's test out my build. I'm going crazy. I got something in my teeth and my nose is just itching like crazy. Every time I hit record, the nose just goes bonkers. All right, let's run one of these. I am full. So let's go to my stuff. Do I have... All right, finally I'm getting a stack of these invitations. I've been out of them for so long. Reduce effect of non-curse auras. Do I need it? I got my evasion. I'm gonna get hit a lot. That should be fine. This isn't an honest build. It's not an honest build because I don't have spell suppression. Now, I bought a chess piece that has spell suppression on the chess piece, but mapping with Carcass Jack is so much more enjoyable because of the increased AoE. So I'd rather run an enjoyable dishonest build than less enjoyable honest build. So let's pop this Embrace Madness. And you can see the damage over time tick as I walk away. So you want to smack them a few times and then run away. Smack them a few times, smack them, run away. Smack them. So that's the play style. You smack them up, you run out of their range because you're a bit squish. You don't want their smoke. You don't want their damage. You smack them, and you run away. Then you pop your Vol Reeve, and then you can smack them from a distance. Hit a couple of those, hit a couple of those, hit a couple of those. And as you see, that was chaos damage. Still have energy shield up, chaos damage, wrecked my face, and I'm even using 30% of chaos damage does not bypass energy shield. So chaos damage, big problem. I probably ought to put a chaos flask on and not use this banana, but I like the banana flask. The banana flask helps out a lot because when you have these debuffs on, one of them is a debuff for regeneration rate, and that banana flask fills your life up to full every time. I probably want to pop all of my auras, not just the alt page ones. And standing on poison ground. As you see, a dishonest build. This does not have the defensive layers that is required to play this game at an end state. So that is why I'm stuck at level 90 for now. It's also pretty brutal that I'm losing my evasion. Now if I had some energy shield recharge or leech, that would be nice. My body armor gave me increased energy shield recharge rate, which is nice. So the idea in my mind for this build is you apply those bleeds, you apply those ignites, you run away, and you let that damage happen. But as you see, I am at maximum stack. So when you get to the maximum stack, you're taking a lot of extra damage. So you just pop it off. And you're doing damage, but you're not igniting, you're not chilling, you're not shocking, but you're still doing some pretty good damage. And it's a nice balancing act. And by nice, I mean it's a terrible balancing act. Don't build this build. Just go for poison if you're looking for anything more than a meme. There you go. And this is actually about the worst situation for this build to run in. It's a tight arena. You die after everybody's dead because this game is fantastic in that way. Trying to pick up loot and all of a sudden you're dead. That is the absolute bane, cancerous existence of this game, is that you can kill everybody. It drops loot on the ground, which is shiny treasure that it wants you to run and grab, but it'll put a instant death mechanic on that shiny treasure that you wanted to go grab. But that's why I'm at 0 experience. I don't even know what a delirium orb. Okay, fine. I'm at 0 experience, so dying is no big deal. When I try to play a little more serious, I can do a little bit better. Only a little bit. But spell suppression, a must. More chaos resistance, a must. But it's a little difficult to do with your limited gear set because you don't have a helmet. And I also tried to stack a lot of energy shield because you can't really get that much. So I got a lot of energy shield on my shield. It's weird to say energy shield on your shield, but I got a lot of energy shield on my shield. 200. I also need that evasion, so I went to split. You can do much better than this, but it's got high life and it has that 57% faster start of energy shield recharge rate. And this body armor that I have also has 50% faster start of energy recharge rate and spell suppression. But I don't have quite the sockets I want, so I'm just kind of trying to re-socket this, and I'll put it on eventually, and it'll make me a lot tankier with that spell suppression, and then I'll path into this spell suppression node, or this spell suppression node. I probably want this one because it's going to recharge a little bit of energy shield. And then I'm going to apply chance to suppress damage is lucky. So I got lucky spell suppress, and this should do it. So I need another 4 level, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 levels. So if I made it to 97, I can obviously refund a few passives here. I don't know what, maybe this one to not get that 10% more maximum physical attack damage. But if you wanted to make this an honest build, you could. But if you wanted to make this an honest build, you just get rid of this Beacon of Madness and go straight poison. It's going to be much better. So let's run an actual map. What do we got here? More life, enfeeble, reflect fizz. No wonder it's still there. Reflect fizz. I don't remember if I like waterways. I don't think I like waterways. I do like shore. Let's get this shore damage. Yeah, that seems fine. Monsters poison on hit, so let's not get hit. Let's just not get hit, and then we're good to go. What is my evasion rate? 70% chance to evade with my current setup. Not that good. Not that strong. Probably ought to put blood and sand. Do I have an extra slot? Steel skin, frost blink. I could just get rid of Defiance banner and put in blood and sand. No, I'll just leave it as is. I don't need that more damage. The defenses will probably help me out in the long run. So I have my conflux on. I am shocking. I am igniting. I am poisoning. I am bleeding. I am doing everything to these bad boys. They don't like it. Volatility support is a game changer for this game. I believe they might have to nerf it. It's given me like 90% more damage with this individual setup. It's pretty bonkers. It's pretty spectacular. 32% shock on this boss, but as you can see, my debuffs are getting out of control, so I'm gonna pop it off. No longer shocking, no longer igniting, no longer chilling, but I'm gonna pop it right back on. And another aspect of this that makes it extremely volatile is I'm using Nightblade support, which triggers on and off with the assassin. On critical strike, you get Nightblade, and that is making my damage even more volatile, because as this declines, my damage is decreased significantly. And when it's at the peak, it's at its highest point. So if you really wanted to, you can even time your elusive effect with your madness. You can turn it off when you're at low elusive effect. So right now I'm about to pop off on maximum elusive, so I can pop it, and I'm at maximum elusive. So here's when I'm going to be doing the maximum amount of damage with this build. And you know, if you really want, if you really like that engaging multi-click, multi-button play style, this could be a pretty fun little build for you. Because if you're good at the game, you can basically dodge all the attacks. You don't really need to worry about dying. And if you're focused enough to notice when your Beacon of Madness goes off, or if you want to just get lazy, you can put an auto clicker on like a 8-second click count or whatever, but you're not going to get the most out of Embrace Madness with that. I'm going to leave Embrace Madness on, and I'm not going to turn it off for the rest of this map. I'm going to let the debuffs go to maximum, and let's see how long I can go with maximum debuff before I die. This is a T16 shore with a pretty aggressive Atlas layout for bosses. See, triple boss, pretty aggressive. That Carcass Jack makes the AoE just so good. I am from a safe distance applying the damage. Reeve is such a good skill. Like, it's crazy. Obviously, it only works for daggers, which makes it slightly less good. But I just applied a 37% shock on that boss from the Beacon of Madness. That's pretty good damage. That is a 37% more multiplier because of that shock that I otherwise did not have. And that more multiplier with the bleeds and the ignites is applying to the maximum hit value. And that one step ahead is allowing me to move with maximum debuff. S tier. Atlas passive. The one step ahead from the Trickster. S tier. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, in the game. If I can move that onto every character, oh man, I would. I would. It is so good. Obviously, it messes with Tailwind a little bit, because Tailwind increases your action speed, and this already makes your action speed fixed at 108%. I got that shrine at the very end of the map, which is annoying. Alright. Let's burp into the microphone with my massive old man indigestion. Let's run another. Let's run one of these bosses. Let's do a Drox. I'm running out of my Drox maps. Let's see. I don't want reduced damage from crits. That just does not work for me. Less recovery rate. I guess that's alright. Physical damage reduction. Increased accuracy. That's gonna slaughter me. Chance to block. Armor. This is great. This is perfect. Perfectly rolled. I can't Maven him. But this has been a lifelong dream since I was a small little seaman in my dad's nutsack before he pumped me into my white... I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop there. It's getting nasty. It's getting nasty. No one wants that daddy dirty talk going on here. Nobody wants that. They just want to hear some Path of Exile and some mapping, so I'm gonna give them what they want. Let's hit this sound. There we go. And I am gonna try to stop talking. Just run them out. Madness on. I'm gonna leave Madness on the whole map, and let's see if I can do it without dying. Now the biggest and worst debuff from the Madness is actually the life regeneration rate, which is the whole reason I got the Banana Flask. Get in trouble, pop the Banana Flask, and then it heals you full all the way. Why I call it a Banana Flask? I don't know. It kind of looks like a banana to me. Feels very banana-like. And dead. One hit is all it takes when you're at maximum madness. One good way to use the madness is to turn it off whenever you stop the loot. You kill a block of enemies, you turn off your madness, you loot a bit, then you turn it back on when it's time to party. And it's time to party, so let's turn this madness back on and let's just get it going. My Vol Reeve, get me to 8 stacks, and let's sweep these streets. Sweep, sweep, sweep the streets. Now multi-strike, I don't really like it, but getting the more hits will get you a better chance for a lucky hit. Not more chance for a lucky hit, more chance to have a higher maximum damage value. But I'd probably be better off using Cruelty instead of multi-strike, especially because I don't have Awaken multi-strike. If I had Awaken multi-strike, it's kind of a different story, because that is just a monster for damage. But because I want the ailments to do more damage, I'm kind of trying to do a Bleed, Poison, Ignite. You know what? Next map, I'm going to put on the other skill. I already forgot what it's called. See, maximum madness. I turned off madness as I can loot all this good stuff. And by the time I'm ready for the next engagement, it's back up. I am not... This actually isn't that bad of a build once you fix the spell suppress and, you know, level up to 95 or whatever you want to get to. but it requires a lot of focus to play it. You gotta pop that madness, like right there, I just forgot to pop the madness. Still does pretty good damage without madness, but popping that madness is excellent. Chilling, shocking, igniting, all that deliciousness. And this is some of my favorite shit with Path of Exile. This is so weird. That madness boost. Now everyone's like, yeah, it's useless. You're only gonna pop it every now and then. Because if I take out, again, let's take this out and let's run it without this guy. Just pop that in my inventory. It is impossible to use it without that. One step ahead. So let's just see what it looks like when I pop it on and off. It completely enables the boots as a valid option. So let's fight this boss with it off, and we'll see what I have to do. So pop it on, apply your damage, and I'm already boned. I'm already boned. I gotta turn it off already. Too slow, too slow, too slow. Turned it off. How am I getting frenzy charges? I don't even know how I'm getting frenzy charges. Must have a chance to get frenzy charge on kill from one piece of gear. I built this guy a few days ago. I haven't played him since then. I moved back over to my jug to do some farming. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Shit's getting wild. I hate and like this boss. I think it's kind of well designed, but if you're crazy, man, it's a little rough to fight this boss. I'm not gonna fight Jiraxis with this off. I just want to kind of demo the difference and how much this one step ahead makes a difference. I'm probably gonna die. All depends on the luck of the dodge. Let's turn off my madness. And one reason I like the bleed and the poison is when you're playing a build like this, you want to be very mobile, you want to run around. And when you move from position to position as they attack at you, your damage over time still applies. So you're doing actually quite a bit of sneaky damage on these guys. Because a lot of times when you're doing just a basic attack skill, anytime you're not hitting them, they're not taking damage. But with this, you can apply the damage, reposition yourself, and you're not losing too much damage as you stop attacking. I mean, this is common sense to anyone who's ever played a bleed or poison build, but no one's played a bleed ignite poison build ever. It's never happened until today. This is the first poison, bleed, ignite, shock, freeze build on the planet. Alright. Let us run a map. Let's do a boss. Let's do a boss. Stuff. I don't have a boss. Damn it. Let's try some cereal. Wait. Bottom right is who? Who's the bottom right? Map. Bottom right is going to be probably Baron, because I fucking hate Baron. Baron is going to be absolutely brutal on this build. I don't know where I'm trying to go. Stuff, bottom right. Drox. Yeah, that's Baron. Less area of effect. All damage. Always ignites. Elemental weakness. I can't do elemental weakness, I don't think. Ugh, I'm gonna have to use a freaking Chaos Orb on this. Gross. Rogue Exile. Avoid elemental ailments. That should be fine. Extra damage as physical with fire. Monsters maim on hit. I should be alright with that. Pretty nasty, but it should be okay. sweep these streets. Make sure I don't miss my delirium. No delirium. Rare when delirium doesn't hit. It's like an 80 to 90% chance of getting delirium on every map. But sometimes it's like behind the portal, so I always like to try to circle the portal a little bit. Conflux is getting a little out of hand. Madness getting a little out of hand. Let's turn it off for now. And it's ready to be back on. But for me, I usually put on a TV show or some music, and I vibe out. I don't pay a lot of attention when I play. I just kind of go. So this isn't the perfect build because you have to keep popping madness on and off, or you're gonna die. I have no problems dying in softcore. It doesn't really bother me. A lot of people get upset when they die and they have to like backtrack. I'm just chill. I don't even care. I just chill. But if you don't like dying, don't try any of this stuff. But if you don't like dying, you're probably just playing a big old fat tank. But as you see, if you play intelligently, kind of stay out of the damage zones, attack from a distance, pop it off, you can do pretty good. And if you had spell suppress, you'd be pretty solid. This would be a pretty solid build. Obviously worse than a pure poison build, obviously worse than a pure bleed build, but not by much. It really is adding a lot of value, adding all of those ailments. Oh, I didn't even talk about the amulet. Didn't even talk about the amulet that I got on. Shared Suffering. Enemies take 5% increased damage for each ailment they have on them. I think I'm applying 5. I wish I knew a way to apply Brittle, Scorch, and Sap as well, because that'd be an extra 15% more damage to the enemies. But I don't know how to do that. I'm pretty sure I'm going the wrong way to get to the boss. Turn the Conflux off. It's really nice for when you gotta like navigate the map a little, because you don't pay attention when you run maps, so you never memorize what the maps are like. That's just me. I just run random maps, and that's not a way to learn. And that's a problem with like a big part of my life. Let's say I got to program an API call with Python. I only got to do that. Go back when I had the job where I had to do that. I only had to do it like once or twice a year. So because I only did it once or twice a year, I would forget how to do it every single time. And every time I just had to relearn because I didn't do it on a daily basis. And that's how I feel with these maps. There's so many maps, and I don't run them on a regular basis. So I don't actually memorize the maps that quickly. Now you see, I did a lot of damage there. I cleared that dude out real quick. But what is this? Mud Geyser? Yeah, I don't even know what map this is. I'm not sure I've even run it. I like it. I don't know where the boss is, but seems like a great map. It's open. It's got pretty good visibility on the floor. Just gotta find where the boss is. So here's me without madness. And the build works without madness. I mean, it's just a strong build. Nightblade is still alive and well, completely. No clue where the boss is. It doesn't have a boss room, so the boss is probably just hanging out. Because these does these portals suck up the boss? A few enemies. You the boss? No, you're not the boss. Are you the boss? No, you're not the boss. Who's the boss? Where's Tony Danza? Or Charles in charge? 36 monsters left. None of them are the boss. Where's the boss? Oh, there's the boss. God, I love this map strategy. Just so many maps. I'm gonna show it before I go into this boss, because it is just fantastic. It is definitely my favorite map strategy. This note here, destructive play, is so awesome. You get additional enemies. Obviously Maven's not witnessing this, but on top of that, if you grab this guy, and this guy, you just get so many maps. So many. It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly, not gonna lie. NGL, kind of silly. Oh, yes. See, that is where spell suppression is needed. This boss is going to be the hardest boss for this character by far. Shotgun lightning damage without spell suppression and degens all over the floor. This is going to take a lot to kill this boss. I'm here for it, though. And then we'll go... I'm not even sure I'm here for it. You can't dodge those, so I have to play immaculately. Immaculate Conception with this boss. Let's give it another shot. Let's give it another go. Bob and weave, bob and weave. Fly a few hits, run away. Fly a few hits, run away. Whoa, buddy. You did not hit me. You didn't hit me. We both know it. You threw on some hacks. You had your wall hacks. Do they have increased AoE, or is that just the size of his cock? No increased AoE. That is just what that guy's packing. He is packing the heat. I'm over here, buddy. Come get me. There you go. I am not even... It must have like a projectile damage and an on-the-ground splash damage. 2 maps left to kill a Baron. Ever since they added spell suppression, elemental damage has gotten a bit out of control. A bit out of control. You might as well not play the game if you're an evasion character with low life and you don't have spell suppression. Before, it wasn't that bad, but as soon as they added spell suppression, whoo doggy. It's mandatory. Mandatory for the right side of the tree. And even with big boys like the Jug, spell suppression is extremely nice. I mean, you can go... It doesn't feel good until you're about like 82% elemental resistances. Once you're about 82% on your elemental resistances, then it starts to feel a little good. Just a little. But going up to like 78 used to be alright. Go to 78 elemental resistances, you'd be okay. You'd be okay. But now 78 doesn't cut it. 80 doesn't even cut it. Doesn't start to feel good till about 82. Yes. Let's talk it up, buddy. Look at this meat suit that I'm wearing. Literal meat suit. I bet someone's cosplayed this pretty excellently. Let's look at these fucking foot switch. If you've ever been fighting and boxing, look how he's positioning his feet. I never even noticed these animations, but he's twisting his right ankle just like when you throw a punch. And the left ankle. Twisty, 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 twisty. Look at that form. Look at that positioning. My guy knows what's good. I don't know how well this is going to do with Sirius. I think it's going to be pretty good with Sirius. Obviously, I can't take any of his beam damage. That's just going to one-shot me. And that damage over time is pretty brutal, too. But, let's see what we can get on those guys. And then any boss where you can't go in with 8 stacks of Ball Reeve is going to be rough. Where'd you go? Here you are, buddy. My stacks are getting a little high, but I want to save it for when he does something like a meteor or he phases. There you go. Now he's phased and I can pop off my madness. Stop blowing me. Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Easy now, fella. Am I safe? Am I safe? I'm safe. Am I safe? I'm not safe. I was not safe. Re-engaging on this fight is actually the worst part of this fight. They at least fix the tornadoes for the most part so they don't go in front of the door. At least I haven't seen them go in front of the door in a long time. But sometimes, like right here, I don't even know how to go in there. There's just nothing I can do. Tornado, tornado. There's one little spot here it looks like I might be able to squeeze through. But I'm pretty hosed. There we go. Squeeze through. Where the hell even are you? It's a baby fucking whale, Jay. Jay, it's a baby whale. We need to call the aquarium. There he is. Hey, what's up, buddy? Maybe you moved. Oh, he's gonna go to the stairs. He's gonna go to the stairs. Not the stairs. Oh, and he's just living in his freaking portal. Nowhere near as bad as Maven. I will take this fight every day over Maven. Except for I didn't pay enough attention to the meteors coming down. Maybe I won't take this fight every day over Maven. I suck. And this build isn't, you know, designed for anything other than memes. I mean, why such a laborious effort to get to the boss? They need to slim this down. Oh, I was just talking about how the tornadoes don't block you from the fight. Here we go. Blocked from the fight. There we go. At least they programmed it so it... Oh yeah, he rephases anytime you suck. I don't suck, I promise. Poison. Not poison. These tornado storms. When you got a fast character, oh man, it makes this fight brutal to control your dude. For some reason, in Path of Exile, I just have a difficult time controlling my character. I played a lot of Diablo 2, a lot of Diablo 3, quite a bit of Diablo 4. Every action role-playing game, pretty much. Can't think of any of them. Titan Quest, Wolfson I played a bunch of. And I'm able to control my characters better in every one of those games. I don't know what it is. There's something about this game. I think it might be the movement skills. I don't know, something about this game. I just have a difficult time controlling my characters. Do I not have vitality? I don't have vitality. I'm not gaining any life. That is a big faux pas. Then you see the damage is fine. I just gotta work on that survivability, that spell suppress. Oh my god, I just wasted a Vault Reeve. I thought he was gonna go ham. He's going right up the stairs. I'm stuck in a wall of emotion. He's throwing that shit down. Now the trick to fighting this boss. Now take me serious here. The trick to fighting this boss is you don't die. I mean, it is the easiest concept in the world. Just don't die. And for some reason, I just choose not to take my own advice every now and then. And I die. But if I just followed my own advice and just don't die, I can beat all the bosses without hassle. I think I can only focus on 3 things at max. 2 things I can focus on pretty well, but 3 things at max. And Maven throws like 5 things at you when you're doing the memory game on the final phase. 1, you gotta dodge the spinny things. 2, you gotta dodge the damage on the ground. 3, you gotta dodge all those projectiles that the douche nozzle's shooting at you. And then you also gotta avoid Maven. Well, you gotta track and find Maven. And then she does a memory game, and that's just too much. That's too much for my old brain to handle. I can't do Maven. Maven is not old man brain friendly. Oh, he twisted too much. I wasn't expecting him to spin that much. How many portals? 2 portals? Let's get it. Do I really not have Vitality? How would I not have Vitality? Seems like a huge overlook. Vitality is going to help out a ton. A lot of my deaths are from not having life regeneration, so, you know, this is going to be nice. Only having 3,000 life and 1,400 energy shield, that's causing a lot of deaths too. But I think it's primarily my first advice. How did I even die there? A stupid damage pool where the meteor lands? That's some cheese. That's some cheese. Obviously, you know, if I was tanky, that wouldn't have died. 1 portal left. And as I said, the best advice for a serious fight is don't die. Just follow that advice. Don't die. And then you don't need to worry about it. Because this re-engage is a slap, a light little slap on the bottom of your testicles. That's the worst place to get hit. It hurts the most. And that's what this is. Anytime you die, it's a nice little testicle slap. Where's the exit? There it is. And no serious victory. No serious victory at all. Another thing that's difficult with this, with my defense levels, is the mines. The mines are pretty difficult with my current defensive levels because I don't have spell suppression. This is like a video on what not to do with your character builds. Don't build an evasion character without spell suppression. You ain't gonna have a good time. Because you can't dodge spells. Don't worry, I'll hit every button in the game before I hit T and R. Now, this part's fine because you can stay mobile, but when it forces you to hold still, it becomes less fun. Now I could make these videos much shorter, but I figure the people that just wanted the advanced tech, they've already exited. Everybody else who just wants to see me suck at the game, this is pure treat for you. And watch me run around and die and suck at the game. This is like Schadenfreude in its maximum. Look at this freaking damage everywhere. It's so hard to avoid it. Alright, well I did one. Oh no, I didn't do one. I haven't even started it yet. I'm gonna hit a big guy to see some dot. So I'm gonna go fight a boss. I'll do a regular boss that I'll be pretty good at. What boss would I be pretty good at? That doesn't cast spells, it only does attacks. Constrictor, are you an attacker? Oh, these are nasty. Enslaver, do you cast spells? I don't even remember what any of these dudes are. Avoiding poison, vulnerability, enfeeble. That one should be fine. I don't even remember what enfeeble does. It hurts me. It makes me slow. Now another cool thing you can do with a build like this is there is a mantra of something which counts your buffs and adds fire damage based on your buffs. And if these confluence, these debuffs count as well, it's going to add a lot of fire damage for that jewel. So there's a potential for a build there, and that'll be a pretty interesting and fun build to make. And it'll do fire, so you can do big ignites with that. Another chest piece that would be pretty good, I forget what it's called, but you have reduced damage if you haven't taken a hit recently. It used to be very expensive, but it's not in favor anymore. It's not in vogue because people need to get rid of that physical damage, so they use the stuff that converts physical to elemental. That's a lot more in vogue, but that other one's pretty good too, because if you get a high enough evasion, you get your evasion into 80 percentile, get as close to cap as possible. It'll be pretty nice, because then it stacks with the other passive, which allows you to take less damage if you haven't been hit recently. You might even throw a mist wall on there, so your maximum block if you haven't blocked recently. You can do a lot to scale your defenses, but no matter what you do to scale your defenses, spell damage is always gonna hit. Look at that damage. Bleed, ignite, poison, all still going. And that was chaos damage that killed me there. What is my chaos resistance? Negative 1 million? Yeah, negative 50. Just get looked at by chaos damage and it's game over. That's kind of a bit of a problem with this game. It's not really a problem, but it's just kind of annoying that when you start a new character, you have this giant checklist of things you have to do to make it so you can actually play your character. First thing you gotta do is handle elemental ailments. If you don't handle elemental ailments, you're dead. Then you gotta handle damaging ailments, bleed and poison. If you don't handle bleed and poison, you're dead. Then you got corrupting blood. If you don't handle corrupting blood, you're dead. Then you have spell suppression, and if you're not doing maximum elemental resistances, if you don't handle spell suppression, you're dead. So you got this giant checklist. And then there's physical damage mitigation. You gotta find a way to reduce your physical damage before you're dead. And I feel like it's a lot. And it's not gonna get smaller. They're not gonna reduce the amount of stuff you gotta do to get defensive. They're only gonna add to it. They're gonna add more stuff eventually. Maybe Path of Exile 2 will add more stuff. But I want to see this damage over time. So you can see the poison doing a bulk of the damage, but let's hit this guy. Look at him, look at him, look at him bleed. Look at him bleed, look at him burn. Look at him ignite. I like watching the damage over time take its effect. What am I being hit by? What is touching me? I think I had an invisible monster. At this boss, we're gonna be playing with the dot. Because dot was like the main point. Oh shit. I'm gonna be playing with dot. I said I was gonna switch it, but I didn't. Let's drop this. Multi-strike. Let's put on cruelty. I like cruelty because it's usually pretty easy to find. Pop on cruelty. It's gonna help with my dot. Cruelty, you can throw one swing out, and then kind of... Because when you're doing multi-strike support, that first hit is lower damage than the third hit. So if you really want to get all three swings off, you're not going to get all three swings off. So if your attack speed's fast enough, you can actually drop that and just do a single swing with this. And just get a higher single damage hit. All depends on your playstyle. Obviously, you attack faster with multi-strike. But this is kind of cool. Alright, let's fight this boss. Let's drop the Confluence. Oh, we gotta wait 45 minutes. Let's see, it's good. You can drop your madness, wait 45 minutes. Oh, why is there a dude here? Wait the 45 minutes for this dude to suck him up. Well, am I still watching? Yes. We need that background pornographic music going. Got a few hits. Look at him bleed. Look at him burn. Look at him bleed. Look at him burn. between each phase. You can drop your madness. So madness is actually pretty good for phasing. And then let's see. Less burn, less damage. Turn on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy there, buddy. Turn on the madness. Oh, that tornado hurts. Since when did that tornado hurt? That tornado always hurt? I'm usually so tanky I don't even notice. See, that was mostly a dot fight. Are you phasing? Yeah, you're phasing. Let's let the dot finish it. Oh, the dot didn't finish it. He needs one more tap. One more tap. There you go. Alright, alright. I think you've seen enough. There's a build here. I'm not gonna pursue it any more than this, I don't think. I'm gonna have to go defensive in order to level up to 95, and I'm mostly building this to do some, building this Assassin, Trickster, Shadow Boy, mostly for Sanctum. I got a bunch of Sanctum tombs, and I don't know exactly. I'm gonna build a dedicated Sanctum build to run all these Sanctum tombs, and I don't know what the best build is gonna be. When Sanctum was core, I had an Exsanguinate Impale build that was fucking incredible. It was like 6 million, very stable, very easy to apply damage with a low budget. Oh man, it was fantastic. Well, it started with the low budget. Eventually I got Awakened Spell Echo and Awakened Chain, both which are crazy expensive. But it was pretty good without that. But once you get Awakened Spell Echo and Awakened Chain with Exsanguinate, oh man, there are very few builds that provide that level of enjoyment. Let's go back to my Excel sheet. Let's run a few of these randoms. Why not? It's fun. F9. Let's analyze this. We got a 530% increase, but we got a few negatives. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out of these lucky hits, we got negative values with 5 of them, which is statistically improbable. A 30% increase in the total over those 10 damages. Let's run it again. Let's run it again. We got a 31% increase with a 1, 2, 3 negatives. 2 negatives. This is a big boy. This one is a big boy on the lucky hit. We got a 94% increase in damage from the base hit, but only a 4% increase with max damage. So let's pretend you're doing it in a Ignite build, right? You're doing an Ignite build. This lucky hit did nothing for your Ignite build because your Ignite is going to be applying this 21,000 versus this 20,000. So you're getting 4% damage with this lucky hit. Now, if we were to remove, actually, this will be an interesting little test. Let us get my damage values. Let's drop Volatility and Rough Losses Coil. Oh, but now I can't use, I can still use it. Fuck it. Let's do 8,000. Yeah, 8,000. We drop this to 8,000. Ugh. Dirty. Look how small those numbers are. Look how weak those numbers are. Look how pathetic it is. So this is purely a Volatility support build. 7,000 for the max hit. 7,000, 7,000, 7,000, 7,000. Boring, 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 boring. Now let's put it back to the 22,000 that it was. Much better, much more exciting. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Yeah, let's fucking get it. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, do you see that 130 on the sum? I guess sum and average are kind of pointless because it's going to come out to the same thing in terms of percentages. right here. It's pointless to put the percentages on both, but whatever, whatever. Let's try to get a big hit. 102. 89. It's almost never oh, there's a negative. 111. With lucky hit, you got 111% increase in damage, but only 12% on this big boy hit, because you got a dud. You got a big old fat dud right here with a 3,764% increase in damage, because you went from the very minimum to the very maximum by being able to roll the attack twice. Fantastic. I'm gonna save this. Let's save it. Let's go to my consumer. You know, I'll save it fucking later. I haven't fucking used Excel on this computer yet, so I don't really know where it's trying to put it. Anyways, that is the video. I made a short video this time. It was only 1 hour and 6 minutes. So hopefully you guys sat through all of that. Nice little short video for you guys. I